The small human colony on the edge of the galaxy was quiet that morning. People were busy with their usual work, fixing machines, growing food, and exploring nearby planets. The colony was simple but strong, made of hard-working people who loved their home. Suddenly, the sky changed. A bright light flashed, and a spaceship fell from the stars. It crashed into the rocky land just outside the colony. Smoke rose high as the ship's metal body broke apart. The sound was loud and scary. Jax, the best mechanic in the colony, was working in his small garage when he heard the crash. He wiped his hands on his coveralls and ran outside. He saw the strange ship lying on the ground, broken but not destroyed. The ship was unlike anything Jax had ever seen. Its metal was smooth and shiny, but also strange. It had soft glowing lights and parts that looked alive. Jax was curious and nervous. He had fixed many machines, but this was different. As Jax approached, a figure moved near the ship. A woman stepped out from the shadows. She wore a long cloak that shimmered like the stars. Her hair was dark and shiny, and her eyes looked deep and wise. She looked tired but calm. The woman did not speak at first. She only looked at Jax with a quiet hope. Jax felt something strange, but did not know what. He nodded and said, "I can help you. I will fix your ship." The woman nodded slightly and walked toward the colony. She did not tell her name or where she came from. Jax guessed she was from a faraway place. The colonists were curious but kept their distance. Some whispered, "Who is she? Is she dangerous?" Jax worked all day on the strange ship. He opened panels and studied the glowing wires. The ship's technology was unlike anything he knew. It was more advanced than the colony's best machines. Still, Jax did not give up. He used every tool and skill he had. At night, the woman sat quietly near the ship. She looked at the stars but said nothing. Jax wanted to ask her many questions, but he did not want to scare her. He felt a strange respect for her, like she was important, but hiding something. By the end of the day, the ship showed small signs of life. Lights blinked, and the engines hummed softly. Jax smiled. "I will fix this ship," he said quietly. "You will be able to fly again." The woman looked at him with a small smile. For the first time, she spoke. "Thank you, human." Jax did not understand everything about her words, but he knew one thing. This was the start of something big, something that would change his life, and maybe the whole colony, forever. The next morning, the colony was buzzing with talk about the strange woman and her ship. People watched from a distance, curious but unsure. No one knew who she really was, and she did not tell anyone much. Jax went back to the ship early. He wanted to finish the repairs. The glowing panels inside the ship were still a mystery to him, but he was determined. He carefully touched the controls, trying to understand how they worked. The woman stayed near the ship, quiet and still. Sometimes she looked at the sky, sometimes at the colony. She seemed lost in thought. Jax wondered what she was thinking. Was she scared, lonely, or waiting for something? While Jax worked, strange things happened around the colony. Small animals moved nervously, and some machines acted oddly. The colonists whispered about bad luck or signs. Some thought the woman brought trouble. Others felt something special about her, but no one knew why. One afternoon, Jax asked the woman, "Where do you come from? Why did your ship crash here?" She looked at him with her deep eyes and said nothing. Instead, she touched a small pendant on her neck, a jewel that shone with soft light. Jax noticed the pendant, but did not say anything. He felt the woman was hiding something important. Still, he respected her silence. He knew sometimes people carry secrets to protect themselves. As days passed, Jax found more strange parts in the ship. It was not just a ship. It was like a moving city. There were rooms that changed shape, walls that glowed, and machines that spoke in strange voices only the ship understood. Jax worked hard, learning from the ship itself. It was like a puzzle, and every day he found new pieces. The woman watched him closely, sometimes with a small smile, but she never spoke about her past. One evening, a young girl from the colony came to see the woman. She was curious and brave. The woman gently held the girl's hand and whispered something in a soft, unknown language. The girl smiled and ran back, telling everyone the woman's voice was like music. Jax watched this and felt even more puzzled. Who was this woman? Why did the colony feel different around her? And why did she seem so powerful yet so gentle? The more Jax fixed the ship, the more he wanted to know her story. But the woman stayed silent, like a locked book waiting to be opened. That night, Jax looked at the stars and wondered, was this woman really alone? Or was she running from something far away, something dangerous? And if she was a queen, why did she hide her crown? Jax didn't know the answers yet, but he was sure of one thing. This mysterious woman and her strange ship would change his life, and maybe the whole colony, in ways no one could imagine. Days passed, and the quiet colony began to feel uneasy. Strange things were happening near the woman's ship. Some of the plants near the crash site started to change colors. Small animals stayed away. The colonists whispered about the ship and the woman more often now. Jax worked harder than ever. He had almost fixed the ship's engine, but the controls were still a mystery. The woman helped sometimes, but only by pressing a few buttons or showing him symbols. She never explained much. One afternoon, while Jax was repairing the ship's power core, he saw something strange in the sky. A small, fast ship flew nearby, watching the colony. It did not come closer, but Jax could see the markings on its side. They were not human. Jax told the colony leader, who immediately called for a meeting. The colonists were scared. Who are they? Are they friends or enemies? They asked. The woman stayed quiet during the meeting, but her eyes were sharp and alert. That night, Jax saw the woman standing outside, looking at the stars. He asked her, "Are they coming for you?" She nodded slowly but said nothing more. The next day, the mysterious ship returned. This time, it landed a short distance from the colony. Out came 3 tall aliens with armor and weapons. They looked strong and serious. The colonists gathered, ready but nervous. The alien leader stepped forward and spoke in a strange language. The woman raised her hand and answered in the same language perfectly. The colonists were amazed. No one knew she could speak alien tongues so well. The aliens called her Queen. The word shocked everyone. The woman did not deny it. Instead, she looked at Jax and the colonists with a calm but serious expression. The alien leader explained that they were looking for their lost queen. She had been taken from her home and hidden in a distant place. Now, some enemies were chasing her to take her power back. Jax listened carefully. He realized the woman was not just a visitor or a stranger. She was a ruler, someone important in a bigger fight than the colony had ever seen. The queen asked the aliens to leave the colony in peace. She said she needed time to fix her ship and gather strength. The aliens agreed but warned they would return soon. That night, the colony felt the weight of what was coming. Jax and the queen sat together near the ship. She finally spoke softly. "I do not want war here. But if it comes, I will protect this place and the people who helped me." Jax felt proud. He wanted to help her. He did not know how, but he believed in the human spirit, strong, clever, and brave. Maybe this quiet colony was about to become a key part of a much larger story. The day after the alien visitors left, the colony was tense. Everyone talked quietly about what had happened. Some people were afraid. They did not want any trouble from space warriors. Others wondered if the queen was telling the truth. Jax returned to the ship to continue repairs. The woman, now called the queen by some, stood close by. She was calm but watchful. Jax felt a strange mix of respect and worry. While Jax worked on the ship's power systems, he accidentally touched a hidden panel. Suddenly, a bright light flashed, and parts of the ship opened like armor plates. Strange weapons appeared, shining, dangerous-looking devices pointed toward the sky. The hidden weapons made a loud noise, alerting the whole colony. People rushed outside to see what was happening. Many were scared. "Is she dangerous?" some asked. The quiet queen looked embarrassed, but did not explain. The colony leader called an emergency meeting. The queen stood in front of the people. "I did not mean to scare you," she said softly. "These weapons are only for protection. I have enemies who want to hurt me and this colony." But the colonists were unsure. Fear grew in their hearts. Some demanded that the queen leave the colony immediately. They did not want war or danger in their peaceful home. Jax felt torn. He believed the queen was honest and needed help, but he also understood the colony's fear. He tried to speak to calm everyone down. "She saved herself here. She is not our enemy. We should trust her." Still, many colonists whispered behind closed doors. They looked at the queen and her strange ship with suspicion. Trust was breaking. The queen saw this and knew she had to act carefully. She asked Jax for help. "If I can fix my ship soon, I will leave and stop the fear." Jax nodded. He worked harder, day and night. He repaired parts of the ship the queen did not understand herself. They worked side by side, building a quiet friendship. One evening, Jax found the queen looking at a small star map inside the ship. She traced a path with her finger and said softly, "This is where my home is, far away, but I must return." Jax smiled gently. "You will get there, and when you do, you will have friends here." But the colony's peace was fragile. Some colonists still watched the queen like a shadow. Fear was hard to stop. Jax decided to protect the queen no matter what. He believed humans were strong when they stood together. And sometimes, even strangers could become family. As night fell, the queen stood by her ship, the hidden weapons closed quietly. She looked at the stars and whispered, "Soon, I will be ready." Jax watched her and felt hope. Maybe the broken trust could heal. Maybe the quiet colony could become something greater, a home for a queen, and a new beginning for humanity. The colony was still uneasy. Whispers about the queen and her strange ship never stopped. One clear morning, as Jax worked on the engine's core, the sky suddenly darkened. Not from clouds, but from many ships, fast and sharp, appearing from the edge of space. The colony's alarms blared loudly. Everyone stopped their work and looked up. The ships were not human. Their designs were cold and aggressive. They moved quickly, scanning the planet below. Jax's heart pounded. He ran to find the queen. She was outside, calm but serious, watching the incoming fleet. She had warned the colony might face danger, but now it was real. The colony leader called all the people to the center. "Prepare yourselves," he said. "We don't know what these ships want, but we must protect our home." The queen stepped forward. "They are the enemy faction, chasing me," she said quietly. "They want to capture me and take my power." Some colonists gasped. The fear in their eyes grew. "Can we fight them?" someone asked. The queen looked at Jax and nodded. "If we stand together, we have a chance. But their weapons and ships are stronger than ours." Jax fought fast. The colony had simple weapons and old machines. They were no match for the alien fleet. But humans had something the enemy did not: creativity and courage. He spoke loudly. "We can make traps. Use what we have. The enemy will not expect us." The queen smiled slightly. "You humans are brave. I like that." As the alien ships landed nearby, colonists worked with Jax and the queen to prepare defenses. They set traps, used the rough terrain, and modified the queen's ship to act like a shield for the colony. At night, the queen told Jax about her people. "My empire was strong once," she said, "but greed and betrayal tore it apart. I am the last hope." Jax listened carefully. He felt the weight of her words. This was not just a fight for the colony, but for an entire empire's future. The next morning, the enemy ships moved closer. The battle was about to begin. Jax looked at the Queen. "We fight together." She nodded. Together. The colony braced for the coming storm. Hope and fear mixed in the air. The human spirit was ready to face the impossible. The first light of dawn spilled over the colony, but no one slept. The people were busy preparing. Jax moved through the camp, checking traps and helping wherever he could. The Queen stood beside him, calm and confident. Together, they planned the defense. The enemy ships were powerful, but slow to land. They expected an easy victory. They thought the small human colony would be no match for their weapons or technology. But Jax knew humans had something more: cleverness. The traps were simple but smart. Pitfalls hidden under thin branches, nets made from tough vines, and small machines that could send sparks and smoke. Jax and the colonists used the rocky land to their advantage, building walls from stones and setting up hiding places. When the alien soldiers came out of their ships, they were surprised. Their boots got stuck in traps. Their weapons malfunctioned because of smoke and dust. The colonists fought with tools they made themselves, and with fierce determination. The Queen used her ship's shield to protect the colony. It glowed bright and strong, keeping enemy fire away. She also helped direct the defenders, showing skill and courage. Jax found himself fighting alongside the Queen. He used a small tool like a spear to defend himself. He never thought he would fight in a battle like this, but he was ready. The aliens had expected a quick fight, but the colony fought hard. Slowly, the enemy began to retreat. The Queen's presence gave hope to the humans, and their courage surprised the aliens. At one moment, a large alien warrior charged at Jax. The mechanic dodged and used his tool to trip the warrior. The Queen stepped in and held the warrior back with a burst of energy from her ship. Together, they saved the colony. After hours of fighting, the enemy ships took off. They left the colony behind, but they warned that they would return. The colonists cheered quietly. They had won this battle, but the war was not over. Jax looked at the Queen and smiled. "We did it," he said. The Queen nodded. "Because of humans." That night, the colony celebrated with quiet joy. People were tired but proud. They had stood against a powerful enemy and survived. Jax sat near the Queen's ship, looking at the stars. The battle was won, but the Queen's enemies would come again. He knew the real test was still ahead. The Queen placed a hand on his shoulder. "You have helped me more than you know. Together, we are stronger." Jax felt hope. Maybe humans and aliens could work together, not just to fight, but to build a better future. The stars above twinkled softly, as if watching and waiting. The colony was quiet after the battle. The people rested, but their eyes were full of questions. Who was this woman? Why was she so powerful? And what did her story mean for them? One evening, the Queen asked Jax to join her inside the ship. The glow of the ship's panels lit the small room as she began to speak. "My name is Serana," she said softly. "I am the Queen of the Velari Empire. Long ago, my family ruled many stars, but enemies betrayed us. They took my throne and scattered my people." Jax listened carefully, amazed. He had heard stories of empires and stars, but never met a queen from another world. Serana continued, "I was forced to flee with only this ship. I hid here, hoping to find safety and friends. I never wanted to bring war to your home." Jax felt respect and sadness for her. "You are brave to come here alone," he said, "and to fight for your people." Serana smiled. "Thank you, Jax. I believe humans have a strength inside, a strength that comes from hope and heart." She showed him a star map, glowing softly in her hands. "This is my home world, Velara Prime. It lies beyond the stars you see. I must return there one day, to reclaim my throne and bring peace." Jax nodded. "You will have help. We will stand with you." The Queen looked at him with a new light in her eyes. "Together, we can change the future." Outside, the colony's people watched the sky. Some still feared the war to come. Others hoped for peace. Jax and Serana worked closely. She taught him about her technology, and he shared human ideas. They planned not only for battle but for a new alliance between humans and Villari. One night, a young boy approached Serana. He asked her, "Will you be our queen too?" She knelt and smiled gently. "I am your friend and protector. We fight side by side." The colony began to change. The queen's presence brought new energy. People started to believe in something bigger than their small world. Jax knew the road ahead would be hard. The enemy was still out there, waiting. But now, the colony was not alone. They had a queen and a friend. As the stars shone above, Jax felt a strong hope. This was only the beginning of their story. The days after the revelation were filled with hard work and hope. Serana, the queen, and Jax worked side by side, preparing the colony for what might come. But this time, it was different. They were not just preparing for war, they were building an alliance. Serana shared stories of the Villari Empire's greatness and its fall. She explained the power of her people's technology and their knowledge of the stars. Jax shared the simple, strong ways of the humans, how they built things with hands, how they never gave up, even in hard times. The colonists began to listen, to learn, and to help. Some trained with simple weapons, while others helped improve the colony's defenses. They worked long hours, but their spirits were strong. One morning, Serana called a meeting in the colony's main square. She stood tall, wearing her shining cloak. The colonists gathered around, eager to hear her words. "We face great danger," Serana said, her voice clear. "But together, humans and Villari can be strong. We can protect this home and build a future." The people cheered softly. It was the first time many of them believed in a hope bigger than fear. Jax helped organize teams to learn from the Queen's technology. Together, they adapted alien tools to human hands. They built new machines, faster ships, and better weapons. The Queen's ship became a symbol of unity, a bridge between two worlds. One afternoon, Jax showed Serana a new design for a defense turret. She smiled, impressed by his clever mind. "You have the heart of a true warrior and the mind of a great mechanic," she said. Serana also opened her ship to the colonists. She taught them how to read star maps and understand alien languages. Children listened with wide eyes as she told stories of stars and distant worlds. But even as they worked, the threat of the enemy loomed close. Scouts had been spotted near the colony's borders. The people knew the next battle could be the hardest. At night, Jax and Serana sat by the ship's glowing panels. "We have come far," Jax said. "But this alliance is just the start." Serana nodded. "It is more than that. It is a promise for peace, for strength, and for friendship." The stars twinkled above, silent witnesses to the bond growing between humans and aliens. Together, they were ready to face the darkness and to fight for a new dawn. The sun rose slowly over the colony, but the quiet morning did not last long. Scouts from the enemy faction had returned, this time with more ships and soldiers. The colony was ready. The alliance between humans and Serana's people was strong, and everyone knew what was at stake. Jax stood beside Serana on a rocky hill, looking out at the approaching enemy fleet. His heart was steady, but he felt the weight of the coming battle. The colonists were nervous but determined. This was their home. Serana's ship hovered nearby, its shields glowing brightly, ready to protect the colony. "Today, we fight not just for survival," Serana said, "but for freedom, for hope, for the future." The enemy ships landed with a loud roar. Soldiers poured out, ready for a quick victory. But the colonists were prepared. They fought with courage, using the traps and machines Jax and Serana had helped build. Jax ran through the battlefield, fixing broken machines and helping the injured. He dodged blasts of energy and shouted orders to the colonists. His simple tools became weapons, and his quick mind found new ways to turn the enemy's strength against them. The Queen fought fiercely as well. She used her ship's powers to protect her new friends and strike at the enemy. Her calm voice gave hope to the colonists when fear tried to take hold. At one point, a group of enemy soldiers broke through the defenses and headed toward the colony's heart. Jax grabbed a makeshift weapon and charged to stop them. He fought side by side with Serana, their strength and skill pushing the enemy back. The battle was long and hard. Many were hurt, and the ground was scared by the fighting. But the colony did not fall. Slowly, the enemy began to retreat. Their ships lifted off, disappearing into the stars. The colonists cheered quietly, tired but victorious. Serana looked at Jax, pride shining in her eyes. "You and your people fought with great courage," she said. "Together, we have won today." Jax smiled, feeling the joy of victory, but knowing the war was not over. "We will be ready next time," he said. That night, the colony gathered around fires, sharing stories of the battle. They spoke of bravery and hope, and of a future where humans and aliens could live in peace. Serana stood with Jax, looking at the stars. "This victory is for all of us," she said. "A new dawn is coming." Jax nodded. He knew their fight was far from over. But now they faced the future together, stronger and united.